Hello, this is Scriptures and Storytimes with Stephanie. Today we're studying Judas, and the first chapter we're starting at is Matthew chapter 26, 14 through 16. Verse 14. Then one of the 12, called Judas Iscariot, went unto the chief priests. So that means that one of the 12 disciples of Jesus, Judas, went to the chief priests. So that means that literally they didn't even ask him to betray Jesus. He went out of his way to find him to betray Jesus. Verse 15. And said unto them, What will ye give me, and I will deliver him unto you? And they covenanted with him for 30 pieces of silver. So Judas says to the chief priest, what will you give me if I deliver Jesus to you? And they made a covenant with Judas, and that means they made a promise with Judas and gave him 30 pieces of silver. 16. And from that time he saw opportunity to betray him. So that means that Judas, after he got paid, basically was trying to figure out when he could find, he basically was looking for ways to betray Jesus. Yeah. Matthew 26, chapter 26, verse 21 to 25. 21. And as they did eat, he said, Verily I say unto you, that one of you shall betray me. So this is during the Passover. And Jesus says to the disciples that one of you will betray me. 22. And they were exceedingly sorrowful, and they began every one of them to say unto him, Lord, is I? So basically all the disciples are they were sad, very sad. That's what sorrowful means. And every one of them said to Jesus, Is it me that's gonna betray you? 23. And he answered and said, He that dippeth his hand with me in the dish, the same shall betray me. So Jesus is saying, one of you that is pretty much sharing a meal with me is gonna be the one that's gonna betray me. 24. The Son of Man goeth as is written of him, but woe that man by whom the Son of Man is betrayed. It had been good for that man if he had not been born. So that means the Son of Man. So Jesus is doing what he's supposed to be doing, but the person was the man whom the Son of Man is betrayed. So whoever is betraying Jesus, they're saying woe is him, shame on him. And Jesus is also saying it had been good for that man if he had not been born, which that's pretty much the same as in movies when people are your mother should have not had you. That's pretty much what Jesus is saying. He's saying it would have been better if that person had not been born, which is that's a pretty harsh. I think it's harsh. I never personally said that to anybody before, but yeah, that's pretty, that's kind of like, to me, it feels like, not a dig, but it's kind of like, it would have been cool if you weren't here, which is, oof, heavy, kind of, deeply insulting, in my opinion. 25. Then Judas, which betrayed him, answered and said, Master, is it I? And he said unto him, Thou hast said. So, I keep saying Jesus, I'm sorry. Judas, which already betrayed Jesus, answered and said, Master, is it I? So that means Judas already know the answer to his question because he already got paid, and he's seeking opportunity to betray Jesus, and he's like, Master, is it I? Which is like kind of a slap in the face, in my opinion. Like, how you gonna be like, is it me that's gonna betray you when you've already betrayed him and you seek an opportunity to continue to betray him? That's like really that's shady. And then Jesus said, Thou hast said. So basically Judas was like, is it gonna be me who's gonna betray you? And Jesus is like, you said it. Which I think is funny a little bit. Like if someone's like, would I do that to you? And he's like, instead of being like snappy, he was just like, you said it. Anyway, Matthew 26, chapter 26, verse 46 through 50. This is after they already ate and they're sleeping because Jesus noticed they were tired and he told them that they could rest. And this is the verse directly after that. 46. Rise, let us be going. Behold, he is at hand that doth betray me. So he's telling them to get up. We're gonna go. It's the time where I've already been betrayed and we need to leave. 47. And while he yet spoke, lo, Judas, one of the 12, came, and with him a great multitude with swords and staves from the chief priests and elders of the people. So that means Judas came to Jesus' camp with people that it says a great multitude. So to be a multitude means more than like 5 people. So he came with those people that had swords and other weaponry. That are with the chief priests and elders of the people. So he brings a clan of people to Jesus. And then 48. Now he that betrayed him gave him then a signal, saying, Whomsoever I shall kiss, that same is he, hold him fast. So he told the people that he's with, whoever I kiss is going to be the person that y'all need to get, because you need to hold him fast. So that's like, if you set up a person, and I mean, I hope nobody's setting up anybody, but anyway, that's like if you set up a person and instead of just being like, you walk up to the person that you're betraying and say, hey, you guys, whoever I kiss, y'all gotta get him. $49. And forthwith he came to Jesus and said, Hail, Master, and kissed him. So that means he walked out of the group and went up to Jesus, kissed him, and said, Hail, Master. That is so disrespectful. I think that's disrespectful. I think it's rude that you walk up to somebody that you're betraying and be like, hey, and then kissed him as the setup being fulfilled. 50. And Jesus said unto him, Friend, wherefore art thou come? Then came they and laid hands on Jesus and took him. So Jesus said to Judas, Friend, where art thou come? So that means like Jesus considered Judas a friend. That's sad. And he alright, excuse me but for that for a second. I got distracted for a second, but that's somebody was about to talk to me. Anyway, so friend, wherefore art thou come? But yeah, so Jesus like friend, calling Judas his friend, and says basically, where were you? Like, where did you come from? And then Judas, it doesn't say that there's a response. And then the priests and the people with the swords came and laid hands on Jesus and took him. So that means they said, and then they walked off with him. Because he was identified, which is, I don't even know. I don't have a response yet. Matthew 27, 3 through 5. So this is when the judgment of the people had happened, and they had already led Jesus away and said they were going to put him to death. And this is the scripture that's like after that one. 3. Then Judas, which had betrayed him, when he saw that he was condemned, repented himself and brought again the 30 pieces of silver to the chief priests and elders. So Judas repented and came back to the priests with the money. And then it says, 4, saying, I have sinned, and that I have betrayed the innocent blood. And they said, What is that to us, that thou see thou to say, to see thou to that? So that means Judas realized he messed up, and he came back and realized that he had betrayed innocent blood, meaning that he realized that, Jesus hadn't done anything, so he was innocent. And the chief priest said, What is that to us? So that's like, why, like, that's like, what is that to us? Like, I don't even know how to say that. Like, what does that matter to me? Like, they're like, okay, and he's innocent, and who cares, pretty much. 5. And he cast down the pieces of silver in the temple and departed, and went and hanged himself. Judas. So Judas threw the money down in the temple of the chief priests and left and hanged himself. So my thing is, and then there's also scriptures where the chief priests are like, they didn't want to take the money because they felt like it was blood money and it would not be good for them if they took the money, which is they willing to sacrifice Jesus when he was innocent, but they don't want to take blood money. That's confusing to me, but to each their own, I guess. But I didn't realize until I was an adult that Judas actually went back and tried to give the money back, and that he felt bad about it. Also didn't know that he hung himself until I was an adult. And I did know about the term betrayed with a kiss, because I feel like people make movies about that, but I didn't realize that it was based off the Bible. So I think that's kind of funny. And And yeah, I really enjoyed seeing. Well, I just enjoyed reading this. I thought Judas was. I think he a bold dude. Honestly, I think he's really interesting, and I think the priests are interesting too. And I think it's interesting that he hung himself too. I think it's sad too, cause I mean, it's good that he repented. I don't think I've never heard a sermon where anybody ever talked about Judas repenting. So I thought it was pretty interesting that he repented and tried to get money back. But yeah, have a good day, all.